Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more! Charlie McKee! Touchdown, Oceanside!
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Thank you for joining us at Carey High School for this presentation of Long Island High School lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network. It's the Southside Cyclones taking on the Carey Seahawks. I'm Gavin Scholl here with you to bring you all the action. Carey on the season 3-4, a lot of returning talent from 2 years ago when they last played. Southside, a little bit of a different story. They missed out on having potentially one of the better seasons in school history. You talked to their head coach, Tom DiPietro, and he said, you know, it was absolutely heartbreaking when they found out last season was canceled. They felt it could have been a once-in-a-decade type of team with players like Nick Lacalzi, who would have been attempting to become a three-time All-American. And let's get into the starting lineups on both sides, and you can see just how much talent these two teams both have after that lost season. We start off with the Cyclones of Southside. TJ Sheehan, he's the name to know, the Denver commit. John Chute-Considine, his running mate. Offensively, Matt Melkonian, Thomas Kelly, Brady West, Andrew Mindell in the midfield. And then defensively, Matt Lazito, he's the experienced back there. Then you have the brothers Pat and Chris Erickson in front of young but talented goalie Tommy Gentile. And then Thomas Kelly is your face-off man. And then we can take a look over at the Carey side. It's a lot of names you probably recognize if you've been following Long Island High School lacrosse over the last couple of years. Jimmy O'Connell, one of the best on the island, one of the best in New York State. The BU commit already has 31 points this season. And then Michael Ferrone, the big name to know, coming back off of injury. The Penn State commit, standing at 6'5", a physical specimen. They're joined by Gavin Bailey on attack. Dean Metzger, the quarterback of the football team, a real emerging talent as a junior. Anthony DiNicola also coming on strong, and a whole host of talented defenders on the Carey side.
Present this year's annual Lax for the Cure matchup between the Carey Seahawks and the Southside High
And
School
today's a special game here at Carey High School. Not only do we have the matchup between these two teams, but it's Lax for the Cure. We'll tell you about that after the break as we tune in for the national anthem.
Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming,
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games,
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang. McKee, first down and more. Charlie McKee. Touchdown, Oceanside.
school events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone
516-403-2050.
Tickets for your support and coming
Thank you
out
for
today.
joining us back at Carey High School. We apologize for any technical difficulties again. This is Gavin Shaw here with you on the Varsity Media Sports Network, approaching our initial face-off to open this one between Carey and Southside. And let's take a look at why this is such a special day. Lax for the Cure, raising money for the Carey program and breast cancer awareness and various breast cancer charities. And that's why you see the Carey Seahawks in pink to support awareness. And current coach Tom Aiello, whose wife dealt with breast cancer. And you'll see Southside wearing pink socks throughout the game. So both teams, it's a really nice shared message as we open this one with Carey in possession.
If they pass too, I'll put.
And there's your first look at Michael Ferrone, the Penn State commit. He's missed the entire season after breaking a collarbone playing football for Carey, and we'll talk about it throughout the broadcast, but that's something both these teams have struggled with COVID, pushing football season to the spring. It's been an added challenge with so much roster overlap between the football teams and lacrosse teams at both these schools, and essentially every school across the island. So now here comes Anthony DiNicola, one of the most improved players on this Seahawks team. A run to net, and his bouncer goes wide of the cage. So it'll be Ferrone taking it from the back end. A big concern of Coach Tom Aiello is that Ferrone isn't too overactive early on. They know he's going to be eager to make an impact, but they want him to take his time. Here's Dean Metzger, the quarterback on the football team. Great athlete. Stoutly built at 6'2", 190 pounds. Very big for a high school kid. Kyle Lewis. Nice little dodge, trying to put it on net. Ball bouncing around, and will be recovered by Thomas Kelly, the senior defender, a Binghamton commit. As he'll push the ball up the field, trying to attack an unsettled defense. Turning around on it is Matt Melkonian. A Franklin and Marshall commit. Melkonian doesn't necessarily get the pub of his fellow attackmen TJ Sheehan and John Jude Considine, but he's an essential part of this attack. So you'll see Kelly, and you'll also see number 22 in red, Brady West, one of the highest rated juniors on the island. He's a Loyola commit. Again, Southside coming in at 3-4 on the year. And they got a big win their last time out, 13-8 over Calhoun, led by TJ Sheehan. They really needed it after losing their previous 3 games. Here's Kelly, watched by Di Nicola. Hunting for space, and that one deflected. Kelly shot low, but it was a good save in net by the Carey netminder, who we're going to get into a lot throughout this game, Anthony Lazinski. And now an attack and an unsettled defense. Pushing up the field is Melkonian. He'll slow things down. Steve DiPietro really happy with their last performance. Felt his team finally started to slow down. And you talk to both these coaches, and they'll reiterate over and over again just a lack of practice time they got throughout the offseason. Great check that time to force the turnover. It was Brandon Tello, the senior pace commit, coming off a torn ACL defensively. And now on the run the other way is Kyle Lewis, one of the best athletes on this Carey team, also a wide receiver on the football team. A guy who from a skill perspective is still figuring things out, but a special athlete and someone Tom Aiello has a lot of confidence and can really explode as a talent once he fully develops that lacrosse skill set. Both offenses, by their nature, with 2 long-tenured head coaches, like to play up-tempo, but given the nature of this season and how little time they got in practice, you get the feeling both coaches don't necessarily mind if they run some clock and just learn how to share the ball and put together long, coherent possessions. Di Nicola trying to do work. That was an errant pass out of bounds. Certainly that Southside defense had something to do with it. You go through the scores both these teams have had, you don't necessarily know what kind of game this is going to be. Both have played really high-scoring matches and low-scoring games as well. Carey, a good example, coming off a 7-3 loss against Garden City. Tom Aiello saying their defense couldn't have been much better in that one, but just missed some opportunities on offense due to lack of patience, trying to throw Hail Mary balls up the court, or excuse me, still in basketball mode, up the grass. And just need to chill out, take their time. You're seeing Southside exercise that type of patience right here, right now. Melkonian hunting for space. Unable to get it. Fantastic defense on the other side by Alex Almaki. So the Cyclones will reset up top. It's Brady West. West, a player who can win one-on-one, and you're seeing that right here, working his way around his screen. Might have had a side armor. Instead, they go in front of net. Oh, and that one is saved. Excellent bit of goaltending by Lazinski. And it will lead to an unsettled situation the other way. Charging up the field was Braden Tello. So still tied at 0-0, 4 minutes into this one. So we have a timeout. And we'll take a look at what happened in front of net there. On the precipice of goal that time for Southside was Dan Capitelli. One of those guys who's consistently in the mix for Steve DiPietro's side. Capitelli still looking for that big moment this season to really break out. Had an excellent shot at it there, but it was even better goaltending by Lazinski. Carey just now getting fully healthy. We already mentioned Michael Ferrone, but there were injury issues up and down the roster after a long football season. Tom Aiello would have had an easier time telling you who wasn't nicked up rather than who was coming into the season. And he essentially said, look, you could throw out the first couple games of the year. They didn't get a chance to really go full speed until their opener against Farmingdale. So here we go on the reset. An extra man opportunity following the infraction. So Carey will see what they can get done with the advantage. Both teams still looking to get on the scoreboard. O'Connell patient. As both sides hunt for space. Ferrone, you've got to say he's come out and hasn't necessarily forced the issue. Came in as a freshman, was relatively skinny, but turned himself into a beast over the last couple of seasons. Again, now standing at 6'5", a whole lot of muscle put on. In the weight room 3 days a week. Goes to dodging clinics, shoots by himself, and that's a errant pass. That'll get the ball back to Southside. Kyle Lewis off on that one. As the Cyclones do a good job to kill the penalty. Brady West trying to fight his way into space. And it'll be an offsides. So now we'll get to see the Carey offense once again, and Carey goes right into it. Ferrone into open field, and he'll score! No one slowed down the tallest player on the field. And Michael Ferrone comes back with a bang. Let's see that goal one more time. His coach described him as the complete package, can shoot, can feed, has a good ground ball game, and that was a beauty of a shot. Fired to the bottom left of the far pole. So a 1-0 lead for the Carey Seahawks.
Yeah, I won't cut like if it's on your angle like that. I'll try to cut you from replay.
4:26 to go in quarter number one.
When you're playing, I'll take it.
And going too early that time
If it's not, I won't make you win.
was Southside, so sprinting up, trying to increase the lead is Dina Cola. And on the back end that time, a good job chasing by Carey to ensure they maintain possession. Tom Aiello in his 23rd season at Carey. Feels like this has a chance to be one of his most complete teams. Obviously, they're just now at full health with Ferrone back. A lob inside, and diving down to shoot it was Jimmy O'Connell, who already has 20 goals on the season. But saying you're not getting another one here is Tommy Gentile. An excellent stop. Now up the right side for Southside is Melconian. He's been active in the early going. Melconian cradling, now centering. Tom Aiello caution, don't be fooled by Southside's record. They're one of the more explosive offenses on the island with a variety of options, including this man, TJ Sheehan. Put up 52 points as a sophomore. Trying to top that now in his senior year. Kelly will reset. They work things around. Now under 2:30 to go in the first. Melconian slips Good job to stay on it. It worked as a dive, and now he'll fire. And it was deflected off of a Seahawk stick. Now scramble situation for the loose ball. Who's going to come out of the pack? It's the long stick for Carey. What a key recovery there from JoJo Todaro, the John Hopkins commit. Todaro, a 5-year starter for Carey. So they'll run their offense through Metzger. His decision-making from the gridiron transitions over to the grass of the lacrosse field. A quarterback in all facets. Lewis, one-on-one. You can see the easy speed and twitch that Lewis possesses. And I'm sure Tom Aiello is loving the patience his offense is showcasing right now. Now they go to work. Metzger. O'Connell slips but recovers. Some harsh checking, will deter that initial run. Matt Lazito, the most experienced defender for Southside, doing a good job there. The Cyclones are confident offensively. Defensively, they're still getting things together, and you see why right there. Jimmy O'Connell punctures the Cyclones' defense. A light in the middle of the storm. The 21st goal on the season and the 32nd point for Jimmy O'Connell, the BU commit. Let's take a look at that one more time. O'Connell, what a quick trigger. You can tell he's one of Tom Aiello's favorite players that he's ever had. Aiello said he's one of the best ground ball attackmen I've ever seen. And on top of all of his finesse, he's willing to do the dirty work. As Carey continues to dominate in the face-off circle. Another big recovery for Todaro on a ground ball. Coach describes him as having lightning stick skills, Todaro. His younger brother, Christian, is on the team as an 8th grader. So Carey hunting for a 3-goal lead. And they'll get it. That time it was Gavin Bailey, the third attackman who wears number 3, a senior. That was just his 4th goal on the season. Let's see how it happened. It was a heck of a lob pass inside by Chris Toscano. And Toscano's an interesting case. He's an all-county basketball player, probably going to go on to play in college. And someone who Tom Aiello says, from a skills perspective, it's impossible for him to be quite as good as the best on the field because he's just a basketball player first and foremost, but he's such a smart athlete, and his field recognition really transitions over from his court vision on the basketball court. Southside was looking for a quick answer, couldn't get it. But what a pass from Toscano, that sports IQ. Heck of a player. And that's the end of one. We're going to take a quick break on the Varsity Media Sports Network. The Carey Seahawks 3, the Southside Cyclones 0.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
Thank you for joining us back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Time and patience and loving memory of Tracy McGrath. That's the sign you're seeing. A woman in the community who recently passed away due to colon cancer being honored today, in addition to everyone else who's had to deal with cancer in their lives, breast cancer, any kind. And it was emphasized to us before the game she was a real shining light to everyone around this Carey program, everyone in the area. Oh, it's really incredible to see her honored like this on this monumentally important day. You see it throughout the crowd, all the pink, all the support. Great to see throughout this program. And on the field with these players, and as another thing, talking to the coaching staff, talking to people around the program, just how invested the kids are in creating that awareness and creating some funding. So finally a face-off win for Southside. It was Thomas Haggerty. It's worth noting neither of these two teams are with their primary face-off men. For Southside, they're still missing Michael Melkonian, who has a chance in his career, is only a freshman, to be one of the best face-off men on the island. If you judge by the Face-Off Academy contest, he's already the best in his class, winning the edition for the class of 2024. Carey as well is without their face-off man, Ray Badian, who was also projected to be one of the best in the conference. Suffered a freak broken kneecap injury in practice. And so both teams having to go with backups. Southside trying to work their way into space, but Carey swarmed on the ball and forced the turnover. Oh, a beautiful roll dodge that time by Ryan Castle to get out of trouble, or excuse me, that was Kyle Lewis. Lewis trying to hunt for space. A great job staying on the ball while being hounded by Brady West of Southside. So a couple minutes into the second quarter, Carey leads it 3-0 over Southside again. You're watching this presentation of Long Island High School Lacrosse, courtesy of the Varsity Media Sports Network. Lewis looking to make a run. Good job beating his initial defender. So the follow-up pass off the mark. And it'll be Southside possession. Again, this is a Southside team that expected to compete for their first state championship since they won it all in 2004 last season with Nick Lacalzi, who's now at Navy. Guy who would have been a 3-time All-American, but they had a whole lot of other talent. They lost T.J. McNicholas, now at Albany, Jack McDonald at Maryland, William Pickett at Cortland. It was an absolutely loaded roster for Tim DiPetro. And he noted they were at practice last year when they found out the season was being delayed because of COVID. They thought it was going to be temporary. And everyone around this program couldn't believe it when this group that had worked so hard to get to a point of competing with the Garden Cities and Manhassans of the world were robbed of perhaps their best opportunity in at least 10 years. But Southside still in a position to find some success. A lot of talent left on this roster despite all the losses. Good little inside dodge, rolling back middle, and a scoop shot saved. It was a heck of a move by Brady West. But in net for Carey, Anthony Lazinski continues to be rock solid. And giving Carey opportunity after opportunity to extend the lead And you got to imagine Tom Aiello really pressing on his guys, knowing how dangerous the Southside offense is, knowing they're going to wake up at some point to extend. Not able to do so there thanks to some brilliant goaltending from Gentile. Centered again, another shot. Lewis will fire wide of net. Hustle there from Gentile to try and win it for the Cyclones. Gentile just a sophomore, but he probably would have started as a freshman on that loaded Southside team. And DiPietro wished he had been able to get that experience, as Gentile isn't giving it up. He still has the ball. He's going right down the middle of the field. And a timeout taken. Apparently DiPietro wasn't a big fan of that trip from his young goaltender. We'll take a break with him on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net.
So let's take a look at the Southside offense. Have yet to get on the board today, coming off of a 13-goal game against Calhoun. Again, there's a lot of options. TJ Sheehan, 15 goals on the season. John Jude Considine has 12. Thomas Kelly with 10. Brady West with 11. West, someone you expect at some point to really break out in this game. Again, one of the top-rated juniors in the entire country, certainly on the island. He can finish with his right or his left, can run through guys, can run around guys. Extremely coachable, according to Steve DiPietro. Puts in extra time. Someone who must be accounted for in all situations. Number 22 in red. You see him on your screen right now. So opportunity from the Cyclones of Southside here. Coached by Tim DiPietro, his 13th season as head coach, his 23rd in the program. Working is Andrew Mindell. A chuck inside, intercepted. Quick hands defensively there by Nick Cowan, the Delaware commit. That's what he's known for, is a real knack for getting those interceptions. Is Jojo Tadaro, the long stick. Goes to work. And we'll have another timeout taken, this time by Carey. As they look to set up their offense, we'll keep it right here. And Carey has gotten off to a good start in this one offensively. Goals by Jimmy O'Connell, Michael Ferrone, Gavin Bailey. It's been a well-balanced attack. And you see the sign right there. Support the fighters, admire the survivors, honor the taken, and never give up hope. Again, this is an annual tradition for the Carey Seahawks. The players worked really hard to get the funds to buy the pink jerseys. And you love to see the support from the South side as well. And the way they actually raise money for breast cancer charities is through the Franklin Square Lacrosse Club 50-50 raffle to support Carey Varsity lacrosse programs and the Carey Think Pink Club for cancer awareness. The raffle tickets have been on sale for the last week or so, and the winner will be announced at halftime of this game. So certainly exciting. A lot of that money, again, going to charity and going into this Carey program. So we start off with Carey in possession again. Tom Aiello wanting to set something up. Starting off with Kyle Lewis, who's had a couple of nice runs in this one. Dean Metzger, number 4 in the white and pink, has been relatively quiet for Roan. Haven't heard from him much since his opening goal. As Lewis hunts for space. Carey can afford to be patient, up by 3. Here we go for Roan. Going center. Oh, excuse me, this is for Roan. That was Chris Toscano on ball previously. Metzger. Recentered to Ferrone. Slipping is Metzger. Metzger, oh, low to high on the shot. Kind of sidearming it. Couldn't quite find the space there. Metzger, an extremely tough cover. The great Dodger can really fly. And his explosiveness from the football field certainly translates to lacrosse. Circling is Toscano. Had that beauty of an assist late in the first quarter. Oh, and great position as Lewis will circle around the cage. Nothing doing on the dodge that time. So here we go. Lob inside. A turn of fire. A goal for Jimmy O'Connell. Set up by Dean Metzger. O'Connell so good around the cage. He won't blow you away with his speed, but such a smart, precise shooter. And on the replay, the awareness is what really stands out, because he's not facing net, but he just pivots off of 1 foot and fires it in. A 4-0 lead for Carey. Southside, you got to assume they're going to start to get desperate to just get that first goal and build a little bit of momentum. But instead, that one is recovered by Todaro, who has been fantastic in ground ball situations all game. That's, if anything, has really been the difference for Carey as they've dominated time of possession so far in this one. You see it again there. Whether it's skill or want to, they found their way to just about every loose ball, that little beacon of possession both these teams are always seeking out. Carey's best season in school history came all the way back in 2007. They lost in the Nassau County semis, a game that they certainly have the talent to get back to this year. Again, I don't think the 3-4 record for the Seahawks is necessarily indicative of their ability, given the injury to Ferrone and all the other guys they've been missing. Another shot on net, another goal, a hat trick for Jimmy O'Connell. Oh, wow, what a start for the Boston University commit. Let's take a look at that one again. Working from X. It was Toscano getting his second assist. And again, what a story Chris Toscano is. Someone who, again, lacrosse is far from his number one sport. We're talking about someone who's going to go on and play college basketball. He's just now getting healthy for the first time this season. Though Tom Aiello said this much, comparing basketball to lacrosse and the transition players have to make, saying, quote, "It's the same game, it's just a different look. Break down a guy and go." And you could just see Toscano from the top of the key on the basketball court picking apart a defense. And doing the same thing here in lacrosse as another big loose ball win from Todaro, who's going to run it up and fire from deep and put it in. What a shot by Joe Todaro. The Johns Hopkins commit shows you something. And that's an element of this Carey attack you will see where they'll give Tadaro the freedom as a fifth-year starter to just grab the ball and go and create some early offense for them. And you blinked, and Carey doubled their lead from 3-0 to 6-0. So Southside earning possession that time around. Again, Steve DiPietro most likely telling his guys to not rush things. You can't obviously get those 6 goals back at once. So Southside will look to go to work. Considine getting his first look on net, and more brilliance from Lazinski, who has been picture perfect so far. That his 4th save. Tommy Gentile a little shaky on the other side of things. Really talented, but still really young in net. The Cyclones defense, though, that's been inexperienced this entire season, not doing him a lot of favors. And for Southside back there, you just don't necessarily have a ton of guys who have played a whole lot. They expected all these players to have that 2020 season to learn under their previous cast of stars. Instead, everyone graduated without getting that year together, and you have players like Chris Erickson, Patrick Erickson, who are both really good, but in key positions when they haven't gotten to play a lot of lacrosse, because Patrick was just a freshman last time this team played. Chris was only a sophomore. So hunting for more is Metzger. Here comes Lewis, a burst of speed. Tic-tac-toe passing, and that's about as easy of a finish as you'll see for Gavin Bailey, his 2nd goal. Bailey not the biggest player in the world, but he just has a knack for getting open, finding space. And you see it right there, that spatial awareness to say, if I'm here at this point, I'm going to get something easy. And it was Chris Toscano again on the setup. Came into the game with 5 assists on the year. Already has 3 assists in this half. So a 7-0 lead for the Carey Seahawks. Southside again, desperate to stem the tide. That won't help. As we've seen for Carey, Joe Bonelli, who is not the typical starter in the face-off circle, doing a really good job. He's really strong, he's really quick. Doesn't necessarily have the experience they lost when Budion went down, but he's a football kid and he has that toughness, has that quickness, huge legs. And you see him winning that fight right now in the circle. Southside, though, an opportunity there missed as that pass on the interior was bumbled by Kelly. Tadaro calmly getting it back to his goaltender. Looked like an illegal check that time for Southside, so we'll see a free possession for Carey here. Now it's blown dead by the official, so Carey will get a chance to run EMO, extra man offense. And Carey, you got to imagine, with just a minute until halftime and that clock ticking, going to be content to hold on to the ball, get the final shot of this first half on the cage. Try and extend this 7-goal lead. Metzger taking his time, quarterbacking this attack. Has played up on the team since he was a freshman. Now a junior. Tom Ayala saying they knew they had something special when he was so effective as a 9th grader. Has a great acceleration, and you're seeing it right now as he circles, fires, and scores. Carey taking advantage of being a man up as they continue to pile it on. And what perfect timing. Talk about the explosiveness, the acceleration with Metzger. You see it right here. The shift, the turn, and the sidearm into the back of the net for Dean Metzger. First goal of this game, his 12th of the season. Bailey has 2, O'Connell has 3, Ferrone has 1. It's been a balanced attack for Carey with everyone getting in on the action. A big opportunity here for Southside, and it looks like it is Michael Melkonian in there on the face-off. If I'm seeing that number correctly, number 25. Again, he's been hurt the whole season, a real talent. And he nearly won that one, but didn't quite have the physicality to close it out. So 10 seconds left for Carey. A shot by Tadaro. Off the mark. Dribbled in front of net, though. You'll see Gentile just hold it and chuck it down the field to wind out the half. It was a dominant one for the Carey Seahawks at home. An 8-0 lead at the break. Again, a hat trick for Jimmy O'Connell. 3 assists for Chris Toscano. 2 goals for Gavin Bailey. And a beaut from Dean Metzger to wrap up half number 1. We'll take a break, and we'll be back for the third quarter here at Carey High School. An 8-0 lead for the Seahawks over the Cyclones.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net. Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
Goes McCarthy. He's got up. He's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Halftime here at Carey Southside, and let's take the opportunity to take a look at the dance team for the Carey Seahawks.
Let's give a big round of applause. Great job. And now, ladies and gentlemen, at this time, we would like to honor a very special person to our community. Tracy Pfeiffer McGrath was an incredible woman who touched the lives of many and many more ways than one. She left a huge impression. Ask anyone, and you will learn that she had the biggest heart and was always the first to lend a helping hand. There was never a game she missed and could always be heard cheering the loudest, telling a story or laughing with everyone. Let's take this moment and let's put our hands together and celebrate Tracy Pfeiffer McGrath's life just as she wanted it to be, as she would want it to be. Happy, enjoying life. Thank you, ladies and gentlemen. And now we'll transition playing one of her favorite songs.
To showcase your skills for the next level. College recruiting videos help your athlete land a spot on the team and can save money on college tuition. Consider a professional video produced by Varsity Media. Our quality film and state-of-the-art editing will help your athlete stand out from the competition. We offer affordable rates and a quick turnaround. Contact Varsity Media today and book a college recruiting video. 516-403-2050 or online at varsitymedia.net. Varsity Media is the tri-state area's leader in sports media production. We specialize in live streaming.
Gargiulo over the middle. He's got a man. It's complete. And Ciolino. See you later. Touchdown, Massapequa.
Videography. And photography. Covering all sports at all levels. We feature aerial photography and videography, college recruiting videos, live streaming of games.
Top of the key, Smith. Why not? Wow. Bang! McKee, first down and more! Charlie McKee! Touchdown, Oceanside!
School events, graduations. Varsity Media is available to cover a game, a tournament, a season, or any special event.
Talk to us a little bit about what went through your mind, how you prepared for that to run such a fast speed.
Currently, spectators are limited at events. Let Varsity Media bring the event to your fans. Contact Varsity Media today for more information. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone
516-403-2050.
All right, and we are back. It is Carey Lacrosse against Southside. Gavin Shaw here with you on the Varsity Media Sports Network. And again, today we're focused on something beyond the sport of lacrosse. It's Lax for the Cure 2021 Franklin Square Lacrosse Club 50-50 raffle. They're going to be announcing the winner right around now at halftime. It's to support the Carey Varsity Lacrosse program and, more importantly, the Carey Think Pink Club for cancer awareness. We've seen Carey all day in the pink uniforms. We just had a touching tribute to Tracy McGrath, a member of the community who recently passed away due to colon cancer, and one of the biggest fans you would find, or you could find, of this Carey Lacrosse program. playing one of her favorite songs right now, Country Road by John Denver. And now you get a look at the Carey roster, enjoying it as well and enjoying this game. And 8-0 lead at the half for Carey. Support the fighters, admire the survivors, honor the taken, and never give up hope. The slogan for this day for the Carey Seahawks. A powerful one for sure. Certainly motivating a great performance on the field for Carey, as they were led by a well-balanced attack in half number 1. It was Jimmy O'Connell with 3 goals, Michael Ferrone in his season debut for his senior season. The Penn State commit has 1. Dean Metzger added a really nice goal, taking one all by himself just before the half. Chris Toscano, the all-county basketball talent, picking up 3 assists. Gavin Bailey with 1 more goal in the game. He will have doubled his season total coming into this afternoon. And for Southside, it's been a real struggle so far, unable to get on the scoreboard, coming off of a game where they got 13 goals
Ray Pop Rocky is our winner
against Calhoun. And you got to figure Brady West is going to have to get it going for this offense to really start clicking. Loyola commit. He's on one of the best travel teams in the state, Team 91, Long Island, 2022 Smash, with Joey Spallina, who's the #1 player in America. You also have TJ Sheehan, their leading goal scorer on the season, a Denver commit. Got a couple of good looks in half number 1 as we about to get started in the face-off circle again. This has been all Carey so far. It's Jojo Todaro, who's done a heck of a job. Not typically the face-off man, but when you're a 5-year starter, you can generally fill in the blanks, do a little bit of everything for your team, and that certainly applies for Todaro, who has by and large dominated this matchup, whether it's been Thomas Haggerty or Michael Melkonian in there for Southside. And it hasn't necessarily been clean wins. It's been more so about chasing down those loose balls after. You see it again with Todaro. Even when he's not the one who gets it, that time he's able to tip it to O'Connell, but O'Connell turns it over. And now Southside will have the chance to attack an unsettled defense, but they don't go all that quickly. Hunting for spaces. Michael Melkonian, or Matt Melkonian, excuse me, the older brother of Michael. So here we go, Southside getting to work. There's a penalty right at the start of the, carrying over from half number 1. Southside kills it, and now you'll expect they'll quit the stall and try and start making up this 8-goal lead, or deficit rather. Windy day here at Carey. It's forecasted for rain, but the sun is bright. And Southside will look to take advantage of the good conditions in this second half. Going to work is Thomas Kelly, the senior. We saw him have a lot of possession time in the opening minutes of this one, but then it was all Carey from about midway through the first quarter on. Looked like it was going to be a low-scoring affair, but Southside was sloppy offensively. Carey executed with precision. A nice dodge, a second move right to the cage, and finally, Southside has some life. Matt Melkonian. Consecutive dodges to find daylight. And the Cyclones were finally able to beat Lazinski, who has been perfect throughout this one, but not quite quick enough there as Melkonian found that lower right pocket. So Southside, after that halftime meeting, probably got some motivation from their head coach, Steve DiPietro. They come out of the second half looking like a different team. So a new man in the face-off circle for Carey, and it pays dividends as they recover that ball. Going to work is O'Connell. As Carey can play a little bit of stall ball in this second half, and Michael Ferrone's a great option to do just that at 6'5". All the physicality in the world. Some tic-tac-toe passing, but an excellent bit of defense there from Matt Lazito to deflect the shot. O'Connell ran it down, and that's the beauty of O'Connell. There's an argument to be made that he's Carey's best player, but also their athlete most willing to do the dirty work, to get down and scramble for those loose balls and win again and again and again in those situations. Oh, good footwork. But a save there as Chris Toscano got stopped. You love to see those flashes from Toscano. Again, someone, because of his basketball commitments, can't necessarily put the time into lacrosse that he wants to, but a burgeoning skill set to match his high IQ. Thomas Kelly. A little burst of speed. Blue-collar kid. His coach described him as a hard dodger. Plays with a lot of force. Southside, you appreciate the patience. A lot of times with younger teams, what this Cyclone squad is, you'll see that urgency to make up a deficit all at once. But Southside really taking their time. Oh, and a bouncer hit off the post and squirted out past midfield. And no one wants the ball right now. O'Connell on the scoop up there. Metzger had probably the goal of the day just before halftime, working from X, going around and winning one-on-one is a great save from Gentile there. Metzger got up high to try and save it. And then good job chasing and ensuring that he was the man on the back line. So it'll be Ferrone who got the opener for Carey. Again, Ferrone breaking his collarbone in the second to last game of the football season. It was a really big issue for both of these teams, and essentially every team on the island, that the football season got moved to the spring because there's so much overlap on the roster, a lot of overlap between the coaching staffs of the football team and the lacrosse team. And you talk to these two coaches, and they didn't have enough healthy guys for a full scrimmage. Both found a way to do some skill work, ensure their guys had an opportunity to at least be around the sport of lacrosse. As Di Nicola lost his footing on the reverse dive there. Di Nicola is a good example of that crossover between the two sports, as he's committed to Stony Brook to play lacrosse next season. A nice run out here from Southside. Give and go. Little two-man offense, but faltering on the jump shot that time was Brady West. And a big run out the other way from Tadaro. He's so good in early offense. Tic-tac-toe passing and a goal. Michael Ferrone, opening goal of the first half, and now he has the opening goal of the second. And the future Nittany line. Let's take a look at that one more time. Here we go. So Tadaro worked it up to O'Connell, and O'Connell to Ferrone. And that was something that Tom Aiello really emphasized to me when we got to talk this week, that O'Connell, who has had a spectacular season already, now up to 35 points on the year, he's going to really benefit from having Ferrone back. Just saying, those two have fantastic chemistry from years and years and years of playing together. And people who are just getting into Long Island lacrosse, they sometimes underestimate what makes these teams so good, and it's that the youth programs are so good. And not only from a skill development perspective, but the fact that these guys have literally a decade going into their high school senior year to develop chemistry and camaraderie and just figure out how to play off of each other. And it almost feels like a professional league when they get to the high school level. And something analogous to the Spurs in the NBA, where you had Tony Parker, Manu Ginobili, Tim Duncan playing off of each other for years and years and years. Something you see with all the great college lacrosse programs in the country amongst their seniors, that chemistry you develop over time. And it's fun to watch as the bouncer from Kyle Lewis off the mark that time. Again, Lewis, the type of player who maybe a year from now could really compete for all-county. Heck of an athlete. But someone who, as a junior, just hasn't gotten a ton of time to develop after missing all of last season due to COVID. Didn't necessarily play a ton as a freshman. And a football player first and foremost, but with his speed, with his twitch, with his instincts, you give him one more year, and you got to figure he'll come back and be a whole new player, already showing really good flashes for Tom Aiello. Chris Toscano, already 3 assists on the day, looking for a 4th here. And a good bit of defending that time from Southside. It was Patrick Erickson, who has a basketball background. You saw it there. A little bit of rim protection from Erickson. So Southside was closer to it when it went out of play. So we'll see the run up the field by Billy Moore now. Moore has speed to spare. Moore over the head that time of his intended target. He's looking for Kelly. Kelly trying to ride and win it back, but unable to do so initially. Lazinski will be able to send it. Oh, good pass from Lazinski. He's getting it right up to center. Could have been a bit more accurate, though. Great idea, and execution was just fine as O'Connell able to run it down. And again, you see the flash plays from Carey, and certainly their execution around the cage is part of the difference in this one, but how they've dominated possessions. And again, it hasn't been because they necessarily have the best face-off talent in the world. The way you see a team like Garden City dominate games, but it's because they've created those scramble situations off of face-offs and have been able to go and recover and make something of it when they get possession. They've been so unselfish on the offensive end. Constantly working for a better shot. Beautiful face dodge there. A lob up by Toscano. A little too high, but you see the footwork from Toscano. And this Carey team, you're finally seeing all their potential again. Carey, just 3-4 on the season. They opened up the year with a 10-6 loss to Farmingdale. Tom Aiello saying it was the first significant action they in terms of running a full game that they got all year. Oh, and what an effort that time. End line to end line went Thomas Kelly. Put so much pressure on defenses because if you don't stop him, he won't be stopped, but it's not a goal. It looked like he went inside the circle. So we're getting a little bit into Carey's schedule. They open up with that loss to Farmingdale, a dominant win over Herrick's, a heartbreaking 1-goal loss to Syosset, beat a really good Seaford team. Then fell to Massapequa, was always great, beat East Meadow, and lost to Garden City. So you look at the losses following the Farmingdale game, and it's Syosset, Massapequa, Garden City. You can almost, for head coach Tim Aiello, say, all right, we can, Tom Aiello, we can kind of wipe those ones off the board. Oh, and a great check that time by Thomas Kelly. A little too aggressive on it, perhaps. So it looked like an illegal check from Kelly. See what the call is from the officials. And maybe another EMO opportunity for Carey. We saw them score on the one to end the first half with Dean Metzger. But to complete the previous point, Carey, that disproportionately hard early schedule, a couple of close losses, and then you look at who they were missing from their attack again. Ferrone, arguably the second most important player on their offense behind O'Connell. Metzger certainly in that conversation as well. And then Toscano, who most people don't think of when they think of the Carey offense, but his value as a connector is evident today. He's doing such good work inside, moving the ball around. So Carey goes to work a man up. Patience for Roan. Put a lot of heat on that one. That's the benefit of those EMOs. You're almost always going to win possession out of play. Go back to even strength now. Lewis circling as we wind down near the end of this third quarter. Dina Cola, the Stony Brook football commit. He's really come on strong this year. Circling net. Looking for someone over the middle. A bounce shot saved beautifully by Tommy Gentile. Fabulous stuff from the sophomore. But Dina Cola, someone worth talking about, has been up since he was a freshman, but was always a defensive specialist, and this year finally broke out as an offensive player, putting a lot of work on his dodging, putting a lot of work as his shot. It's become a really important piece to Carey. It'll be interesting to see where exactly he fits into this attack now that they have Ferrone and Toscano back. You wonder if he takes a step back, or you wonder if he just becomes another complementary piece of that 5 or 6-headed Hydra Tom Aiello has put together on offense. So the penalty's still going. Final 6 seconds of the third. And Southside just going to hold on and take possession into the fourth quarter, but they have a lot of work to do. Down by 8 goals to the Carey Seahawks. We'll take a break. Come back for quarter number 4. You're watching on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Are you settling for a boring live stream? Can't see the players' uniforms? No audio? Camera not following the action? Consider a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Our announcers help tell the story of your game.
McCarthy. He's got he's in. Touchdown, Farmingdale.
We feature multiple camera angles, guaranteed to capture all the action.
Touchdown, Oceanside.
Plus added features like graphics, instant replay.
Yeah, the shooters are going to shoot here at Bethpage, and one of many threes on the day.
Interviews and more. It's your time to shine. And with Varsity Media, now you can. Contact us today and book a live stream broadcast with Varsity Media. Online at varsitymedia.net or by phone 516-403-2050.
Back to action at Carey High School. Quarter number 4. Carey will start up the fourth with a man up. It was a delayed penalty, so they'll have the advantage in terms of the numbers on the field and the scoreboard. A 9-1 lead built by a balanced attack. Most of the damage done in half number 1 with 8 goals. Jimmy O'Connell, the BU commit, picked up an early hat trick, picked up an early assist to top it off in the third quarter. Michael Ferrone making his return from injury, the Penn State commit. The first goal of this game, any of the last goal of this game for Carey to open the third. Dean Metzger had a big one. Chris Toscano with 3 assists. Gavin Bailey came into the game with only 3 goals on the season. Has 2 in this one. And Southside finally got on the board. It was a big run up the field by Thomas Kelly. Had really, really struggled before that. And down a man right now. They're just going to try and take the minute. Or maybe down 8 goals. Steve DiPietro says, hey guys, let's just get aggressive and see what happens. Still have yet to see TJ Sheehan or John Jude Considine really get a good opportunity. There was Sheehan. So that one went off the right pole of the cage. Sheehan straight on, attempting a bouncer, but man, oh man, this Carey defense is flown around. They're led by, again, Jojo Todaro, who has shown off a real two-way skill set in this one, the Johns Hopkins commit. Nick Cowan as well got a big interception late in the first half. It led to a transition opportunity for Carey, and of course, Brandon Tello, who's still working his way back from a torn ACL, number 11, in white and pink. There's a couple of flags fly in an infraction right around the cage. As Carey doing all they can to stem the tide and prevent a comeback. So Southside man up for 30 seconds. Opportunity that's been far and few between on the day for Steve DiPietro's squad. Oh, and there's a big deflection by Todaro. Todaro, another strip. Todaro all over the field, falling into the grass. And he can just stay down there and take a break, as that looked to be an illegal check on the south side front to slow things down by Brady West, probably just born out of frustration. Timeout taken, Southside, 9 seconds left in the man-up situation. 9-1 Carey lead with 10:31 to go. You're watching Long Island Lacrosse on the Varsity Media Sports Network.
Now is the time to promote your business on our broadcasts.
Now Farmingdale will fire and find the back of the net.
Top of the key, 4-3, good.
With viewership in the thousands, your company will get the local attention it needs. Best of all, we offer affordable rates. High school sports online audiences are growing. Take advantage by advertising with Varsity Media.
Hands off, 3-point shot is up and in. You back him back 3 yards, it doesn't matter. Touchdown, Freeport.
Contact us today, 516-403-2050, varsitymedia.net.
So we're back on the Varsity Media Sports Network. Southside, 9 seconds of EMO left, trying to cut into an 8-goal lead with 10.5 minutes left in this game as you get a look at Steve DiPietro. Certainly not too happy right now on the sideline for Southside. He's been in this program forever, 23rd season there. Tom Aiello, 23rd season at Carey. 2 guys who came up together. Their sons are best friends, currently both freshmen in high school. So it's a really close relationship between these two programs, and that's not where the overlap really ends between these two programs. Relatively close together. Both have guys who play on the Icon travel team. The rivalry also extends out to football season, so a lot of familiarity. That can breed some physicality, as we've seen this game get increasingly testy as it's gone on. You got to imagine Southside extremely frustrated with their performance today, coming off that massive, massive win over Calhoun to break a 3-game losing streak. Thought it was the start of really getting their season on track, but they run into this extremely talented Carey team that is just now getting healthy and showing that they might be in the conversation for one of the better teams on the island. Again, a deceptive 3-4 record. There's a lot more talent than that as you see it right there. A gorgeous dodge, an even better finish. Dean Metzger, now you see me, now you don't. A Houdini act and the finish to boot. His 13th goal and 23rd point on the year for the Providence commit. Let's give it another look. Metzger face dodge. Top left corner. And Gentile, the young goalie, never had a chance. Metzger, again, was a real talent as a freshman, but coming back after the year off, just on a whole different level physically and confidence-wise. You kind of get that when you're the quarterback of the high school football team, one of the stars of the lacrosse team. It's a little easier to feel confident and feel good about life. And Jojo Tadaro, man, it won't show on the scoreboard, but you can argue he's been the MVP of this game. The defender, again, not typically a face-off guy, but he's been dominant in the circle. Again, not necessarily winning on that initial attempt, but sprinting and finding a loose ball. See another turn and fire from Ferrone. He's looking for a hat trick. Carey just trying to pile it on at this point. Southside there, got to hunt for a bit of momentum going into their next matchup. John Jude, Considine, again, it's been unfortunate, but because of how good this Carey defense is, we haven't had a lot of opportunity to highlight him and Sheehan, but make no mistake, those two, Sheehan a Denver commit, Considine a Hobart commit, massive, massive talents in their own right. Here's Sheehan right here. Sheehan a little undersized, but his lacrosse IQ absolutely off the charts. As you saw Andrew Mindell charging in, trying to go for the dunk at the cage. But give Carey's defense a whole lot of credit. Tadaro, Cowan, Tello, Gino Cervoni, and of course the goaltender Anthony Luzinski. Just been nailed. Spinning, looking is West. And just off the mark again. Frustrating afternoon into the evening for him. And this has to be such a reaffirming performance for Luzinski and net for Carey. As you see, Tadaro cut his way through traffic. Luzinski, a guy who's been forced to split time at different points this season with Matt Montone. If he's not having a good half, Tom Aiello hasn't been reluctant to go to his backup in Mantone. He's been pretty good in his own right. Luzinski a little bit better in terms of save percentage, but they're confident in both of them, willing to play both of them, but Luzinski has been dominant from the start in this one and earned the right to finish up or at least play the vast majority of this game. Kyle Lewis, one of the few attackmen for Carey who's yet to get on the board. I'm sure he would love to change that. Metzger looking for his third goal. Double teamed, but you see how quick he is. Even against two defenders, finds room. That one went off of a stick, though. Long Island, obviously, just such a lacrosse hotbed. It feels like every game you go and watch, there's an offensive talent or multiple offensive talents that just have that extra little bit of twitchiness, whatever quality it is that separates a really good high school player from someone who's going to go on and play Division I at the next level. What's amazing is it's almost at times like when you look at the starting lineups on the island, like you're watching college lacrosse. Look at that overhead dump pass and an easy finish that time for Chris Toscano, who finally gets a goal. He's done so much work in this one as a playmaker. 3 assists on the day, now picks up a 4th point. in the form of a goal, and let's see how it happened. It was courtesy of a heck of a pass from Jimmy O'Connell. Lobbed it over his head. O'Connell, that is his 5th point, if I'm keeping track correctly, and there's been so many who's to say on the game. 36th on the season. Toscano came into the game with 9 points, now has 4, 5 goals, 8 assists on the season, 13 points total for Toscano. And Carey up to a game-high 10-goal lead. So that time in the face-off circle, it was Thomas Haggerty, who's done the best he can as a fill-in for Melkonian on the face-off. But man, oh man, has Jojo Tadaro absolutely put his stamp on this game, finding ground balls over and over again. I feel like a broken record, but it's warranted because he just keeps on doing it. Here's Carey showcasing a lot of patience. Offensively, despite the big lead, they're not rushing anything. Oh, what a dodge there from Kyle Lewis, but didn't quite have the stick handling to stay on it. Now the long stick going the other way is Logan Kelly, the sophomore. But again, for Southside, it's been an issue all game. They win possession, but then they lose it very quickly. Carey's been so good on the ride or their initial defense. The time Southside has been able to get past midfield. So let's take a look at the schedule going forward for both these teams. Southside will have a quick turnaround, a chance to rebound in 2 days against Garden City, which is certainly going to be a challenge, given just how good the Trojans have been this year and every year for the last 30. And then they get a bit of an easier matchup with Herrick's, who, if memory serves, has just 1 win on the season. They finish up the regular season taking on Oceanside and Massapequa. For Carey, looking to continue to build momentum. They take on a very talented Port Washington team who, as a point of comparison, played Southside and beat them 10-4 earlier in the season. Then they travel to MacArthur, another really high-level team, before playing Calhoun and Long Beach to wrap up their regular season. But you get the feeling Carey has really found something in this one. With Ferrone back, as that one bounced off the top center of the cage, otherwise known as the crossbar. A little vocabulary for everyone watching. Again, you feel like Carey's really found something. There was Tom Aiello didn't say this directly, but my interpretation of what he was saying was that it's hard, even when you have someone as talented as Ferrone. It's not the easiest thing in the world to reincorporate someone who's going to get the ball that much. And you got to give Ferrone a lot of credit. It was clearly an emphasis pregame saying, hey, don't try to do too much. And he really didn't, as that one is put in from way far out. A beauty of a bounce shot that time. As we see Southside really showing off their depth, going deep into their bench and finding some goal scoring. Let's take another look at it. It's a swing situation, and then that one a worm heater right over the top of the grass and in. So Carey up 11-2. But this Carey team, again, after reincorporating Ferrone, reincorporating Toscano, and it's not just those two guys. Talking to Tom Aiello, he was really emphatic that he's saying, look, we were banged up and down the roster, and he was even saying it was a bit of a concern today after playing such a physically talented team in Garden City. Inevitably, his squad probably wasn't going to come into this game quite at full strength, and yet we haven't really seen any signs of wear and tear for Carey. They came out a little slow to start things off, but by the early second quarter, they had this game well in control and never gave up. In retrospect, really good sign for Carey how well they held up defensively against Garden City. That has certainly transitioned to this one. You give Lazinski a little bit of credit, or rather a lot of credit, and you give the guys in front of him, and Tadaro, Cowan, and Tello. And Southside, for whatever reason, just hasn't had their typical coordination on offense. Certainly less so than what we saw when they dropped 13 goals on Calhoun last time out. But still a lot of offensive talent for the Cyclone squad. And again, it's a shame that, unlike the college level where you can give players that extra season following COVID, and we saw it happen across Division I, can't really do that in high school. Guys have to move on with their life, but this Southside team, or that version of the Southside team, led by LaCalzian with a whole lot of other Division I talent, could have been one of the best in the state, and you figure would have given this Carey team a heck of a game if not having beaten them. But Carey, conversely, peaking the year off. They lost some really good players, but not quite to the same extent that Southside did. And the way for Southside last season was their season to win big. For Carey, this season was their season to win big. And they were certainly impacted by the pandemic, but it's all coming together at just the right time for Tom Aiello as they'll wrap this one up. An 11-2 win for the Seahawks of Carey over the Cyclones of Southside. A golden return for Michael Ferrone with 2 assists. Another big day for one of the best players in program history, Jimmy O'Connell, with 4 points. And has to feel good as a Carey fan on such a special day that goes far beyond the final result of the game. It's Lax for the Cure 2021, honoring both survivors and those we've lost to breast cancer and all types of cancer. And players on the field, they recognize the importance of the moment and certainly didn't let it overwhelm them, played up to it. Again, a balanced attack. Ferrone, Metzger, Toscano, Gavin Bailey with 2 goals. And we got to remind you that we have another big broadcast coming up tonight. It's Locust Valley, the Falcons, taking on Cold Spring Harbor. You can watch that one right here on the Varsity Media Sports Network YouTube channel. Again, that game is starting in an hour tonight at 7 p.m. So again, the final score 11-2. One final reminder: support the fighters, admire the survivors, honor the taken, and never give up hope. For our entire crew here at the Varsity Media Sports Network, I'm Gavin Shull signing off. Again, your final: Carey 11, Southside 2.
You're watching the Varsity Media Sports Network, the home for New York high school sports.